All right, we are officially live. So
awesome.
We are group 5, talking about discussion number 1, prompts. So first, what makes a good leader? What did you guys come up with?
I was a bit torn, like, after reading the book, because, I mean, overall, it does point to, like, a democratic leader, but then it talks about, it just depends on the situation, really, in a way. About, like, leadership styles, that is. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I always look as a good leader. I was into sports in high school, so I always look as a good leader, kind of like a coach. Like, they push you to do your best, and they're not necessarily, like, warm and fuzzy all the time, but it's for your own good. And so, at least for me, that's what I need in a leader, is just someone to push me into my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Or out of my comfort zone, I'm sorry. Because sometimes I'm afraid to go there myself. So having a leader that, like, personally kind of connects to me and kind of understands what I need to be successful is someone who I look as a good leader, instead of just a blanket. It's not being situational enough towards the follower.
Okay.
I agree, kind of to, like, piggyback off that. You were talking about, like, how they would give you feedback. And I think that's something that's really important of a leader, is that they give you, like, really clear and concise feedback that is useful. Because sometimes I think, like, you have the tendency to, like, sugarcoat things so you don't hurt someone's feelings. When in reality, like, sometimes I'm just like, just tell me what you're thinking. Like, that's how I get better. Is
constructive criticism, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, that's the type of, at least in terms of work, like, that's how I like to be coached. I like it to be direct. I like it to be succinct. It needs to be actionable, something that I can change on a leadership standpoint. Because I've worked for, I know we haven't talked about it yet, but I've worked for some pretty bad leaders, but that wasn't the case. Where it was, like, kind of tiptoeing around the subject, and it wasn't really addressed. And we'd have, like, managers meetings where we talk about, like, in a group, like she would be trying to coach one person, but coaching the whole group, rather than just pulling a person aside and just say, hey, this is what you need to work on. So
interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, for me, I guess it just depends. In work, I guess someone, like you said, gives feedback and who also wants to hear my ideas and new suggestions, and is okay with that. But in other parts of my life, such as I have horses and I used to compete, I had to have someone really strict on me because I don't know, that's what was the only thing that motivated me. Like, when they were too nice, I just didn't want to, like, give my all for some reason in, like, that area of my life. So I guess it just depends for me what I consider a good leader. What area of my life it is.
I agree. Like, the discussion that we did, I think it was for chapter 2, where you had to talk about, like, the different situations that each type of leadership would be appropriate. And I thought it was, like, kind of interesting, like, thinking about that, because, like, the authoritarian leadership, I feel like I would never appreciate that kind of leadership. But then I was, like, thinking about it, and it's like there's a time and place for it. So it depends on the situation.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely. Does anyone have examples of, like, bad leadership stories?
Oh, I'm sure we all probably do.
Yeah. For me, I mean, you know, I've been with my company for a long time. And, like, through the years, I've had my share of, like, ASMs and training managers, that kind of stuff. And, like, for me, the worst kind of leadership, I mean, it links back to all the things that the text talks about, but it's like when people just don't care about their job. Like, I think that it's really detrimental to the team. And I had an assistant manager not too long ago, and you could just tell that he was totally, like, checked out, just didn't really care about the sales results or his partners anymore. And for me, like, it was just, you could tell when he was on the floor that the morale of the team was different because they knew that he didn't care.
Yeah, I agree. I've had a similar experience like that. The manager kind of I don't know how to pronounce it in the book. A style.
The laissez-faire?
Yeah, exactly.
Laissez-faire, yeah.
That's always been like my bad experiences with like leaders. It's like no direction, no guideline, and then in the long run, like someone gets in trouble or someone gets fired or something. Poor performance. I mean, given it was like not too serious jobs, but still, I haven't really dealt with. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to give you an example. A few years ago, I had a district manager that wasn't from our company. It was an outside hire that kind of came in, I think, when Blockbuster, oh geez, I've been along that long. But when Blockbuster shut down, they came over to Starbucks. And I think what made him a bad manager, I don't think like he liked his job, but I think he focused on the wrong priorities. I don't think he had the same priorities or maybe that shared the same mission that I think the rest of the partners did. I think he focused so much on numbers and achieving results that he didn't go about the right way of achieving those results.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like taking the time to invest in training, to invest in partners. Like he just wanted to get that number and get that sales target, and the way he did it, he didn't care about. And so that was just kind of, it didn't sit right with me as a follower. You know what I mean? I felt like he didn't really care about me. And so I was less engaged to really perform for him and, and get those results.
Yeah.
And every time like I tried to like have like a conversation with him, like a one-on-one type of situation, it was always, you can tell it was like 5th or 6th on his priority list. Like he had other stuff he wanted to do. He was already kind of like not there. He was like texting while I'm talking, and it's just like so it just drove me bananas.
Yeah. I feel like that's quite common with like people in power or like CEOs or owners of companies like that I've dealt with previously. They just don't care. They don't want to listen to it. They want the results now. They don't care how you do it. They're just like, you ask them a couple of questions, they'll respond to one. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a stereotypical ADD owner CEO thing or what it is, like the recipe for success.
And I understand.
Experienced.
Absolutely,
like
and I understand like that's a big part of their job is to get those results. I mean, their job isn't human resources to make everyone feel happy, but I think there's that balance that you have to walk, and that's always difficult as a leader myself to do in terms of trying to, laying out a clear path and communicating that clear path, but also know when to flex that play or to flex that plan, and to make accommodations where there's like gaps, if you will. So yeah, he was just always focused on the end result, and it just drove me bananas. And he's not with us anymore.
I think it's really interesting. I'm sorry, did you?
Oh no, I was just gonna say understandable. No worries.
Like how you were saying that like you didn't feel like he was really present. And that's something that like I have to like catch myself doing as a leader, is that like, like especially on Mondays or like my admin days, like I'm like, I have all these things and I'm going to get them done. And so, sometimes partners want to come back and they want to have a conversation, and it might be work related, it might not be work related. And I really have to like catch myself and be like, it's okay, you can put this down and pay attention to your employee, because you're like, any conversation you have with them is helping you build a relationship, and those relationships are important. And so like, it's something that like, for me, I'm very results oriented. And so like, I just, like I'm happy doing like my paperwork and just getting things done. But I have to recognize to make time for people.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I mean, I guess our society, like the U.S. is result oriented, more so. So
I think it just depends on like how we're all wired. Like we're all just different people, and you know, like we find enjoyment in different things. But to your point, like with the CEOs and stuff like that, I think that it might be like that bad leadership might be a result of external pressures, because I'm sure that they feel like they have to have a certain stock price or whatever it is. And so like that result needs to be there so that we can perform for Wall Street.
Yeah, it's true.
Not to say that it's right, but
no. But it's something like the ones I've met, not that I like I work for, just like I've met, they all have like a similar not personality, but the way they handle their business is very similar, it seems like. I don't know how it works, but it does for them, I guess.
Well, does anyone have an example of like some good leadership that they've had in the past?
I have a really good one from when I worked at Nordstrom. I worked at Nordstrom for like 6 years. My boss, she had the worst reputation in like the region in OCLA. She had a really high turnover rate for managers. And I, like when I interviewed her the first time, like I was terrified of this woman. And like she's probably like 5'11". She's like gorgeous. She's like dressed to the nines. Like she was the most amazing boss that I ever had. And it was just not letting other people's opinions and like the stories you hear about her, but just the way I learned so much from her, just on how to talk with people. Because when I worked for her, I was an assistant department manager in VP Women's Shoes, and we'd have assistant department manager meetings once a month. And we'd go with all the other assistants. Some had been there for years, some are new, and we would just talk on how to talk to our people. And we'd role play, which was like the most awkward thing for me. But it really, like one of the scenarios, and I always talk about it because I'll never forget it. It was like how to have the conversation with someone, like if one of your employees has body odor. Like
that's
how
always
to
hard.
Deal with that.
So hard.
And I was like, dude, it was like, but I really learned. And I'm like, and so she just taught us how to talk to people. And the one thing about her is she, like you could ask her a question and she didn't answer right away. She'd absorb it. She'd stand there about 10, 15 seconds. She would really think about what she was going to say. And then she would like provide an eloquent answer. Like it was the greatest thing.
It's really smart.
I think at least my current district manager has been really impactful in the short time that she's been my district manager. And I kind of want to call her like a wordsmith. She just has the best answer in any situation. And like you can be asking her for 3 months off that you really need, and then she tells you no in the nicest way possible, and somehow you end up thanking her and leaving the conversation. Like she's that type of like charismatic. I don't know if it's charismatic, but she just knows how to speak, and that's something that I want to learn how to do, especially in uncomfortable situations, like you said, Bobby. Like she knows how to handle that like back of her hand. Where I would be like a blubbering, stuttering mess. Be like, I'm sorry, but so that's something that I try to like pick up from her and try to be better at is being ready to handle like any situation, because at least in my job that there any given day a wide variety of situations can occur, and to have some verbiage ready to kind of use in that like in those circumstances is beneficial for me. So and also she's really great at motivating. Like she's a creative person, so she actually makes these YouTube videos about like promotional launches that we're doing. You can actually YouTube her, but anywho, and it's dorky and like, but it's awesome at the same time. Like it's awesomely dorky, and I think it's really fun to show my employees that their district manager has so much passion for what she does that she takes time to like create these little videos, and it just, I think it resonates a little bit better that they see their leaders so invested in what they're doing and not just a checklist of what they have to roll out.
Yeah. That's a great example, especially how you said that how she uses she uses her words. I have a really good friend who I think is like an amazing leader for what she does, and even for me in my life, and just how she speaks. She motivates me so much. I mean, I don't even work for her, but she's helped me so much in my career and my life. And I don't know, she's very inspirational. Her life story and what she's done and her job and her business, and I don't know, words are very powerful, I suppose.
I think it kind of like links back to that section in the book, like storytelling as leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that my district manager, well, not my district manager, my regional director is like really big on storytelling. And like when I saw that section, I was like, next time I see him, I have to show him this book because he would really appreciate it. But he's like the same way where it just seems like anything that comes out of his mouth is so eloquent and motivating. It's like he knows exactly what to say. And it's something that like I've always like, I want to be like that. Like I want to be able to just be well spoken no matter the situation, because it's easy to be well spoken when you can prepare, but when it's like off the, when they ask you a question out of the blue that you're not prepared for, to have that great response is, it's important.
Yeah.
Well, we are just about out of time. Was there any other?
Wow, that went fast.
It did. Wow. Any other final comments?
No, but like the storytelling, once again, I struggled in school, and I feel like really quickly all the great teachers and professors I had used that I did well in their class in, they used stories incorporated into like lessons, and it really does help a lot, and it helps grab your attention. Especially, it helped me a lot during school. So, no, I agree. It's a very important part.
All right. Well, then I think we can say goodbye until tomorrow.
All right.
Oh yeah, until tomorrow. That's right.
Yeah, tomorrow. Same.
Wait.
Oh yes.
I didn't realize. Can we not do it tomorrow, or can we reschedule? We're going to something called Pageant of the Masters. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like that's like. Have you all seen Gilmore Girls?
Yes.
Do you know where they go and like enact the like
yes, the girl with the pearl earring. Like they do the paintings.
Like that's what that is. It's in Laguna.
Oh, cool.
But it's tomorrow night. Actually, it's at 8:30. Never mind. So 5:00 tomorrow. Yeah, p.m.
Are you sure?
I have free time the rest of the week because I know this is a quick turnaround. Oh, there's your cat. Look.
That's actually good. We'll be fine. Sorry.
All right.
What painting you gonna be?
Oh no, I'm gonna watch it. I don't do that.
Oh. All right. Well, then tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, I guess.
So we have to turn this link in, or how does this work?
I can send you a picture of like where I went to get to this, if you want.
Okay. Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, are we doing the same? Like this is the format, this Google Hangout thing, because the YouTube thing didn't work.
Yes, this is the YouTube thing.
Oh, this is. Oh yeah. Okay.
Really? Mine says Google. Okay. Mine says Google Hangout.
Well, I'll go ahead and send you guys the link once it's posted. Yes.
So does one person have to send this in, or?
Yes, I think I just, because it's on my account, that I go ahead and post it, and then I submit the link to the post on the assignment.
Okay, perfect then.
But I'll send you guys the link as well.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda.
No problem. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Have a nice night. Bye.